Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Monday, and that means tonight was Monday Night Raw, and I thought it was a solid episode of Raw. Really good, easy to watch, flowed very well. Wish it starts this early every week, Monday Night Raw. I know they can't start this early every week, especially if they're on the West Coast or Central Time or whatever, but hey, we get this every so often, and I get the reason we had the early Raw was because they're taping Smackdown right now. So also be warned, guys, after we talk Raw, we're then going to talk Smackdown spoilers, if we have all the spoilers out. I've already seen a couple of spoilers, but if we don't have full spoilers, then we won't talk about them on this live stream. I'll just do a video later regarding the spoilers. But there's a good chance by the end of this, we do talk Smackdown spoilers. Also, one good thing about Smackdown, starting this week, they're back to 2 hours. Hallelujah, 2 hour Smackdowns are back. But we've also got, as you see, Luke here with us. Luke, what's going on? How have you been?
I've been good. I haven't been here in a while, and I do feel like, geez, it feels weird now.
Right?
Now that I've been back for a while. I've been working a lot, and I do apologize. I've been working a lot, so
You're good.
it happens. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. But I thought Raw was an all right show. I mean, I wouldn't say it was great or anything, but it was decent.
So
Like,
go for it.
you feel like the Gunther and Goldberg match is being built like, very lackluster? Because I feel like it is.
Yes, and the odd thing is that it had been reported that Goldberg was going to be on the show some way, somehow, every week going up to Night of Champions. He wasn't there tonight. Do they count those old WCW videos, him being on the show every week? I hope not. But yeah, no, it is a little lackluster. And then it's like, it's for the belt, which is kind of weird. Like, I get why do the match. It makes sense. They set it up last time they were in Atlanta. So cool. I understand it. But why does the title need to be on the line? And then what happens if Goldberg wins the title? He's just going to vacate it, relinquish it, say, I'm done. And then what? The whole John Cena storyline is killed because he wants to do the same thing, retire with the belt. I don't know. I don't understand it. And I guess we just got to wait and see where it goes. But right now, it ain't blowing my socks off. But I will say that whole segment in a roundabout way, with Seth coming out and then Punk and then LA Knight, was hella hot. Crowd was into it all. And I actually loved it. So yes, Goldberg Gunther stuff hasn't been great, but what they did with Gunther and everybody else was good tonight.
Maybe the reason why they're doing it for the belt, maybe they just feel like they'd make more money that way. Maybe that's what NBC wanted.
So all we have heard reports and rumor wise is Triple H wanted it a title match. It was a Triple H call that it got to be a title match. So I don't know. But speaking of that, and the guy that Gunther beat, Jey Uso didn't appear until the very, very end of the show. And you know what is bad? Is that I didn't even care or even think about it. I watched this whole show and didn't once say, where's Jey Uso? That's not good. That's not good. To where I cannot even think of Jey Uso when he's not appearing on any of Raw. Like, Jey comes out at the end and I just went, oh, hey, yeah, I forgot about him. That's not good.
Yeah, that's not very good. And my mom's a big Jey Uso fan, so I can't really say much about Jey.
Right. But it's like,
but
when he's your former world champion that won the title at WrestleMania, and then like him not appearing on the show is not a big deal, or him not appearing till the very last 3 minutes is not a big deal. What does that say for Jey? I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm kind of tired of his entrance. That's one thing. I'm like, I'm over the entrance because it's so long. He does the entrance, cool, whatever. But then he gets in the ring and does the run it back. Do it again. And I'm like, why are we got to keep doing it? What? You already took 4 or 5 minutes to walk down the goddamn steps. So, I don't know. That's just my take on it, though.
I mean, I do feel like his reign as world champion is going to be one of those like most forgettable reigns. People are going to forget about it, most likely.
Yeah.
But now it's like, what are you going to do with him now? Just have him feud with like Seth's group, and then maybe at the end of the year they do an Usos reunion?
That's the whole thing. I don't see anything for him. I don't see where you put him unless after Dom is cleared and they finish up the stuff with AJ, he goes for the IC title again. But then people are going to go, oh, step down. There's no use for him to be in the world title, you know. So I don't know. I don't see where Jay slots in unless it's a reuniting with Jimmy. And that's what we have heard in the reports and rumors, that by the end of the year, they want the Usos back together.
And because there's nothing to do for Jimmy.
Well, there hasn't been anything to do for Jimmy since Jay left and the bloodline ended. So,
I mean, at least he was like a guy in the bloodline doing something, but
no, he just shows up
like
random.
Jimmy,
go for it.
Yeah. He's got, ever since the bloodline, like, actually, like, ever since, like, he left, like, the actual bloodline, all he's been doing is just feuding with the bloodline.
And not even showing up consistently. Like, was it 2 weeks ago? John Cena just walked up to him backstage. He goes, have you seen R-Truth? Where's R-Truth? He goes, I ain't seen no R-Truth. How about Ron Killings? Like, I ain't seen him either. It's like, that's all they're doing with Jimmy. Or before Saturday night's main event, when they did the R-Truth John Cena match, R-Truth had like that sign and he was like, oh yeah, John Cena out in the parking lot. And then Jimmy told him, hey, you don't want to, you know, he's not a good guy anymore. Whatever. Like, they're just doing the randomest stuff with Jimmy. It's so weird. So I don't know. It's just, maybe go for it.
This is a long shot, and people can agree or disagree with me on this, but what if they did Solo versus Jimmy at SummerSlam for the United States belt and Jimmy won?
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Really?
Nope.
You don't want Jimmy to have a singles title in WWE?
Not really. So I mean, I wouldn't care for the match. To be completely honest, I wouldn't care.
I mean, it's probably not going to be a good match, but
I mean, yeah, no. Did you see Jimmy and Jay from WrestleMania 40? That wasn't good, and that was all on Jimmy. So, yeah.
Well, to be fair, WWE didn't really want it to be a long match, though. They kind of just rushed it.
True. Now, before we talk Raw and all that, I was going to bring up something else here as far as WWE and their relationship with Netflix that we're going to talk about here in just one moment. But first off, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tier subscription or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to help us out over on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we go live. And that way you know when we post to the community tab. Also, if you want to support us in another way, hit the join button and become a channel member. As a channel member, you get a badge next to your name, emotes and emojis that you can use in the live chat and in the comment section. And you get access to our graphics. At the $1 tier, you get access to our graphics tutorials. At the $5 tier, you get all of our graphics packages. Also, you can get all of that by subscribing over at patreon.com/PW Unlimited. Finally, with YouTube, remember, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Right now, they do have their Epic's savings deal going on right now. It goes on till July 3rd, so just a couple more days for that one. You'll get a bunch of games very heavily discounted. But with all of that, so as far as WWE on Netflix, we know that US Netflix, at least, or every Netflix, but with the US,
I have a question.
Go for it.
So I wasn't watching SmackDown last Friday, but I was at a wedding.
Okay.
But I heard there's a lot of technical difficulties, but
Oh,
I
boy.
don't know the reason for that.
Oh boy. So
Because I saw a lot of people like freaking out on Twitter, basically saying like there's so many technical difficulties on Netflix. I think WWE made a response about it. So what all happened?
So it was not a Netflix issue. It had nothing to do with Netflix. That would have happened if they were live on the USA Network or anything. But what happened was they were in Saudi Arabia. The show started early, but it doesn't matter. None of that matters. What happened was they had a power outage in part of the building that set the control truck and the gorilla position to dark. And because of that, the feed froze to Netflix. That was being sent from the truck to Netflix. And a bunch of the screens in the actual building went down as well. And it took WWE 30 to 40 minutes, maybe a tad longer, to get it fixed. So that's what happened. They had technical issues as far as a power outage in parts of the building that led to two main areas of having the show actually work go down. And so what happened was the show goes down and we're just sitting here watching the, hey, we'll be back from a commercial screen. We'll be back from a commercial screen. And so while the control truck and the grill position are down, the main cameras are not working either. Those are not recording because those record straight to the truck. But what did record, so it was about 9 to 10 minutes into the show when it happened. And Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton were out there promoting their King of the Ring match. And so what did happen was the social media team was still out there shooting footage. And they just shot the remainder of the segment, basically. Basically, I guess WWE must have sent word to them, hey, keep rolling. Because you can tell the difference in camera from the TV cameras to what they use for social media. For like the special like Instagram Reels and TikToks and stuff. And so they used that footage, overlaid the audio onto it, and then spliced what they could together for the USA Network version. And they did put a thing, hey, we had technical difficulties while the show was being filmed. We are giving you as much as we can. Or what did I can read it. I have the screenshot. It said as far as, let's see. So it said this. Pull it up on the screen. If this wants to come up, there we go. Here. Zoom in a little bit. And this is what it said and how it looked on the USA Network. So we got this footage, which you could tell is the social media team's camera. And it said the Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton segment experienced technical difficulties during the live recording from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Thank you for your patience. So basically, they got us as much as they could. And then a number of segments and matches had their time cut. And even with the 35 to 40 minute delay, they only went an extra 10 minutes past the top of the hour that they were planning on going anyways. So that tells you how much stuff got cut as well. And while all this went down, Cody and Randy had to stall for time after they finished their segment. Randy was out with the crowd yeeting. Cody came back out. They sent out Carmelo Hayes and he took a crossroads. So that's what happened. Now, as far as WWE and Netflix, we know that in the United States, we get Raw. Everywhere else, you get everything else. But we're getting a show on July 29th called WWE Unreal, which is basically a behind-the-scenes, as much as they want to give behind-the-scenes show, for WWE. And let's see, this was written up by just as the post-wrestling staff. I didn't know if there's anyone specific. Post-wrestling got some exclusive details on the show. They spoke to a source close to the production who actually compared the show to HBO's popular Hard Knocks show that follows NFL teams, which usually it follows like the worst team from the last season. That I don't watch Hard Knocks every year, but that's about right, right? Hard Knocks usually follows like one of the worst teams of the last season.
Yeah.
So with that, this new show for WWE is going to be 5 episodes long. And I thought we would go over and give us, you and I, our thoughts really quickly on each episode. Now, the one interesting thing for me is they're not going in chronological order. The show is going to be jumping around month to month to fit the theme and narrative of the episodes. So episode 1, a focus on the WWE Raw premiere on Netflix at the Intuit Dome from this past January, and the main event between CM Punk and Seth Rollins, with a spotlight on Punk, Cody Rhodes, and Rhea Ripley. So that makes sense for that to be the first episode. We know that there's going to be stuff from like November, December, because episode 2 focuses on the Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens feud, and even goes back to their Saturday Night's Main Event match. So I think episode 1, starting with, the first episode on Netflix, that makes sense. Any thoughts on that episode?
I haven't watched it.
Well, I meant like just the description of the episode. No one's watched it yet. It doesn't come out till July 29th.
Actually seems interesting. I mean, I would totally watch it.
So episode 2, focusing on the Men's Royal Rumble and the feud between Cody and Kevin Owens from Saturday night's main event and their ladder match at the Rumble. There was also a spotlight on Jey Uso, who ended up winning the Rumble. So that seems like it's going in order there. But then you go back to Saturday night's main event. So are they going to have, well, no, that wasn't even Saturday night's main event. I was going to say, do they have, footage of when Kevin attacked Cody in the parking lot? But that was at Bad Blood. So that wasn't even Saturday night's main event. So never mind. But straightforward to that episode. The next one's a little interesting. It's basically an all women's episode. It says episode 3 is an episode heavily featuring female talent, including Chelsea Green winning the U.S. title this past December, Charlotte Flair returning from injury, the Women's Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber matches. Then they state there's also a portion of the episode dedicated solely to Bianca Belair. Also, with episodes 2 and 3, both episodes will focus on a particular wrestler in a Royal Rumble, and it will follow them throughout the match in a continuous sequence that is visually compelling. So one wrestler in both the Men's Rumble and in the Women's Rumble is going to have a camera following them throughout. I don't know if it's just throughout when their time is to start the match and when they get eliminated, or from the day. We don't know. But it says that a camera will follow one person in each Rumble, and it will be a continuous sequence that is said to be visually compelling. Well, that's interesting. As far as episode 4 does go, it's the only episode that will feature The Rock. Episode 4 covers John Cena's heel turn at Elimination Chamber in March, the lengths that they went to keep it a secret, as well as focusing on the men's Elimination Chamber match and the New Day's heel turn. We are told this episode is the only that we hear Nick Khan speak, as well as appearances by both Dwayne Johnson and Brian Gerwitz for portions covering Cena's heel turn. Anything with those 3 episodes, 2, 3, 4, catch your fancy, interest you?
The Rock one does.
I wonder how much The Rock is even in this. Is it just a little? Is it a lot? We don't know.
You think they just do a 2-minute Zoom call with him?
No, but they also state that Dwayne Johnson's team did provide notes regarding his appearance in the episode. So basically, if there was something in the edit he didn't like, it got it taken out. Or if they were like, hey, we want to focus on this, put this in there. So we'll see what that means. I
wonder when the next time Rock is going to make a return to TV.
I have no clue whatsoever. I know he's got a movie. I don't know if his Martin Scorsese movie has started filming yet. That's the thing. He's got a movie coming up with Martin Scorsese that was supposed to go into production sometime over the summer. So I don't know if they've started filming that yet or not. Also,
the live action Moana movie's done.
Well, that's been done. That's been done since they finished filming in December. Reshoots were anywhere from January to March, and that's done. That movie's ready to go, basically, from what I heard. They've already done what I read was they already did a test screening of it. So I don't know how it went, but they did one. Then episode 5, the final episode. This is the WrestleMania 41 episode, spotlighting matches involving Gunther and Jey Uso, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and then the Cody Rhodes John Cena match. The 5th episode includes a scene of Levesque being handed notes for the next night's Raw to emphasize the ongoing nature of WWE's creative. There is no mention about The Rock's absence at WrestleMania. That's interesting. That's the final episode. And we don't know the release order. I assume, because just like with other Netflix shows like this, like they've done 2 seasons of one for NASCAR. They just drop them all at once. So I assume that's what we're going to get. I don't think we get a week to week. I don't think they break it up 3 and 3 or 3 and 2. I mean, 2 and 3. I think we just July 29th, they're all ready to watch. So very interesting. I'll watch for sure. I'll watch them. We'll do breakdowns here on the channel of each episode probably. So anything interests you here?
I'm just really interested in the Rock one.
So there's more notes here that they've added since I did my video about this earlier that I haven't seen. So let's read this really quick. In terms of structure of the show, we are told that there will be footage of writers' meetings at WWE HQ and moments in gorilla position, which we've seen the writers' meeting one, the writers' room stuff in the trailer. It says a large amount will be dedicated to profiles on wrestlers and different matches. What's up?
Actually, speaking of the writers' room, I was on so like sometimes in my free time I like go out like see what kind of like jobs are available because since I'm graduating soon.
Right.
So I looked up like what WWE was offering. They had like a writers. Apparently they're hiring for like one or few writers. And I saw like a video of like them like explaining the writers room. They literally have like a whole like room and a whiteboard of like of like the writers in the room.
Yep. Yeah, WWE's always got jobs available. Like if I just look really quick right here, they're looking for a lawyer, paralegal. They're looking for a warehouse specialist.
What's the warehouse specialist one?
Let's see what the description is.
Yeah, it's not my major, but I'll do it.
Position overview. A warehouse specialist is responsible for overseeing and maintaining the smooth flow of operations within a warehouse, ensuring the efficient handling of storage of goods. This includes tasks like receiving, inspecting, and documenting shipments, managing inventory, and preparing outgoing orders for shipments. So I don't know if this is... this sounds like shop. This sounds like WWE shop.
So does this sound like... So is this basically like the head of everything?
I don't know if it's like person in charge, but it sounds like, you know, hey, when we get a new order, shirts in, you're in charge of making sure everything is there from the order. Hey, when an order needs to go out, you're in charge of... So it says unloading, verifying, and documenting incoming shipments, including checking against purchase orders. Yeah, it's just working in the warehouse, it sounds like. Like if you were to work at an Amazon fulfillment center or something. Yeah, it says order fulfillment is one part of the job. Picking, packing, and preparing outgoing orders for shipment, ensuring proper labeling and documentation. Yeah, it's just a random worker at the WWE shop warehouse.
I wonder if they have any like production stuff, like entry level or something.
Let's see. They have here.
I don't know if I can do engineer yet.
Let's see what they got. I got this right here. I'll pull it up on the screen for you. This is an interesting thing to look at.
So for those of you who don't know what engineer is in production, it's basically like you're in charge of like if there's like a technical issue, you're in charge of fixing it and you're making sure the equipment is there and ready to be put up.
So electrical infrastructure supervisor. And all of these, you got to live in Stanford. You'd have to move.
I'll move to Stanford.
Digital producer, executive support. Content curator, editor. Oh, I could do that.
A lot of IT stuff.
Yeah. Associate producer, executive assistant, IT support technician. There's 3 of those. Coordinator, account management.
Content editor. That you could be good for that.
Right. Digital products coordinator, senior manager, partnerships marketing, producer/editor, WWE branding and development. Creative editor.
I cannot edit though. That's the problem.
Here's the thing. I can't.
I struggle with editing. I think you know that. I've explained that to you a lot.
My issue is I can't move to Stanford. I'm not leaving my kids, and they're not coming with me. You know what I mean? That's my problem.
Why wouldn't they come with you?
Because I'm not gonna take them from their mom.
Oh.
Manager, talent ID. What's that one? Responsibility: scout, recruit, and connect with elite athletes to better analyze and elevate their potential within WWE. Build relationships with agents, athletic directors. So they want a talent scout. They're looking for a talent scout.
Is that what Regal did?
Regal's done that. Gabe Sapolsky does that right now. I've had a number of people that's done that job, but yeah, they're looking for a talent scout. Interesting.
So you kind of gotta be like a former wrestler to do that.
Not necessarily.
Or like a coach or something.
It doesn't say you have to be. Requirements: ability to build
I think
strong.
it helps.
It says requirements: ability to build strong relationships and leverage strong network, understand the world and lifestyle of an elite athlete, work with the social media team to utilize full capabilities, familiarity with sports contacts and negotiations, exceptional interpersonal and communication skills, driven and organized with strong time management skills, availability to travel frequently and to work during evenings and weekends, experience as a college or professional athlete, scout, player, personal manager, athlete, agent, or similar roles is a plus. So I know that was it last week. There was a bunch of the WWE ID talent that we've seen in Evolve and NXT at a Beyond Wrestling show, and they filmed content for WWE at that Beyond Wrestling show. So if Gabe Sapolsky was there, that would be this person. This person would probably be on hand for something like that. But yeah, that's what they're looking for right now. We could look at AEW's got really fast.
AEW, they don't really have much.
They never have a lot, but they have some current openings.
Production assistant, I could do that.
All they got is they need a financial planner. And they got to live in Jacksonville.
They don't even have like an office or anything.
So I think for certain jobs, you gotta live in Jacksonville and you'll be working out of the Jaguars facility. And then if you're on the production team, like doing graphics, editing, and so forth, they do have a company, they do that out of Nashville. So if you want to work with them for their like production team and all that stuff, you'd be based out of Nashville.
Again, I'll work for WWE, AEW. TNA probably doesn't have many jobs available right now.
If they have any. I don't know if they have a careers page or not.
They probably don't. I'm sure they probably just get people in that area anytime they go to certain places.
Yep, nothing that I can see.
I'm pretty sure WWE, they have their own camera people. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when it comes to like freelance, they just, whenever they go to a certain city, they'll just bring in contractors in that area to do like cable wrapping.
So AEW brings in local people to do like camera work. We know that because of a recent lawsuit filed. The guy, did you hear about the lawsuit about the guy that was shoved by Moxley?
I heard about that. That's probably not going to go anywhere, I don't think.
He'll get a small settlement. But so what happened with that is he is a contracted guy he works with another company that then AEW contracts with, but his son works for AEW. Apparently his son is the one that is in charge of mapping out Jon Moxley's entrance and making sure, okay, we're going to go from here. You're going to walk to here, to here, to here to get you to the ring. This is what we need to do to block off the crowd and make sure that he doesn't get messed with or the Death Riders don't get messed with. That's one of that guy's son's jobs. He's considered a quote unquote floor manager. And one of his duties is mapping out Moxley's entrance for different arenas. So that's an interesting one.
Interesting.
Yep. But with all of that, WWE, more on this show really fast. It says, where was it? The production includes hours of recordings from meetings and writing sessions, but it's unknown how much we will actually see in the final edit. The series began filming at WrestleMania 40 last year, but we were informed that nothing really starts until like last November. So even though they have footage from before November of last year, really the only stuff we're going to see is November to Mania 41. Because they are told they plan to release another 5 episodes of Unreal in early 2026, and filming is already ongoing for that as well. So that's an interesting one. We'll see. And then I think the show is being... Who's producing it? Omaha Productions, I want to say. Let's see. It was... They have it here. Let me go back to it. I just closed it. The 5-episode show It is co-produced by Omaha Productions, NFL Films, Skydance Sports, and it will be under WWE director Chris Weaver, and Eric Powers is listed as the showrunner. Interesting. Cool. I'm interested. I can't wait for it. I think it's gonna be cool. I know they're gonna be holding a lot back. So they're like, you're gonna see stuff, and you're gonna be like, we know more happened there, or oh, that's not exactly, even though it's supposed to be full behind the scenes, WWE's gonna WWE it up, especially if The Rock's giving notes. So we'll see. We'll see.
Actually, I just thought of something.
What do you got?
I don't think Rock's in the Hall of Fame yet, is he?
No.
What if next year at Mania, he's the headliner?
I could see it.
They're in Vegas.
Right?
It would be a huge draw. Huge.
Yeah.
I don't know who else they would put in Vegas.
But you can say that just about any year. Oh, Rock can go in this year. Oh, Rock can go in this. You can say that any year. Rock can go in this year.
If it's in like Vegas though,
like
that'd be huge.
Like for it to make sense with Rock, I would say like LA, Vegas, or Miami. So,
Miami would actually make a lot more sense, but I don't think they're going to Miami anytime soon for Mania.
So no, that was Orlando. I was starting to think there was a city in Florida that's trying to get like a big WWE event, but I think that's Orlando. That's trying to get another Mania or something.
Orlando already gets a lot.
Well, not major.
Yeah, NXT for the longest. Well, NXT for the longest time.
They got NXT almost every Tuesday because the Performance Center's there, but they haven't had a WrestleMania since WrestleMania 33. They're coming up on almost a decade since we've gone to Orlando for a Mania. And Orlando is a great tourist city. So we'll see with all of that. But we got a Raw to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. They kicked off with Mommy Rhea Ripley, or as Raquel likes to call her, Mamona. Rhea Ripley enters, welcomes us to Monday Night Mommy. And she starts talking about evolution and how she wants to see what is on the horizons for her. She is interrupted by Io Sky, and Io comes down and wastes no time. Glad that this thing, like, usually we get these 15, 20-minute opening segments on a Raw or a SmackDown. Nope. This was like, 8, 10 minutes max? Io comes out and says, Rhea, you talk about evolution? Well, you can't have evolution without me. Adam Pearce said, I get to pick my challenger. I get to pick who I defend the title against. I want to defend against you. Rhea then says, you know what? I have nothing but respect for you. Let's do it. But just know I'm going to get my title back, and you've made this challenge. So whatever happens to you at Evolution, whatever happens at Evolution, it's on you. Basically saying, if I beat your ass and hurt you and injure you and whatever, can't blame me, is what Rhea said. Easy, to the point, get it over with, bada bing, bada boom, there we go. Any thoughts?
I was kind of in and out on the opening segment because I was making dinner, but
gotcha. Not much to it
I
other
thought
than
it was all right.
Yeah, not much to it other than they just set up Io and Rhea for the title.
Probably at SummerSlam is what I'm guessing.
No, it's Evolution.
Oh, Evolution.
Yes, Evolution.
I'd say Io wins. I think Io's gonna win, then maybe Bianca returns, and we get Bianca versus Io at SummerSlam.
That's possible.
Because I think the rumor is Bianca's close to being back.
Yeah, I don't understand why she's been gone so long for just a messed up finger. That I don't understand.
Unless they're kind of just holding off on it and just waiting.
They probably got a plan and they're like, we don't need her right now. We're doing fine. She can take more time off. So we'll see how it all goes, but I can see that happening. They set up her and Bianca for SummerSlam. That would make sense. But moving forward, got the Judgment Day backstage. Dom is wishing Finn and JD good luck on their upcoming title match for the tag titles. Then AJ Styles appears. This was great. So AJ appears and Dom pulls out this piece of paper and he's like, hey, nope, look, it says I'm not cleared. I'm not cleared. You can't touch me. I went to Adam Pearce and he said, I got it written in stone. You touch me, you lose your title shot. So don't even try it. So AJ plays old man AJ and goes, let me see that. And he grabs the paper, puts his glasses on, and he goes, hold on. And I didn't write it down here, but I do have it on Twitter. what he actually said because it was funny as shit. He said, he looks at the paper and he's reading. And he goes, "Yep, right here. Doctor says you're a punk ass." I laughed so hard. So hard. But then just AJ with the glasses on too. I'm like, what the? Okay. Cool.
Speaking of AJ, do you remember Joseph Park?
Yeah.
Oh, was this really a thing? Like during the COVID time, him and Joseph Park were like doing segments together in WWE during the COVID times.
Well, so his real name is Chris.
I was seeing clips of that.
So his real name is Chris Park. Abyss. His real name it's Chris Joseph Park. We know him as Joseph Park from TNA because he did the split personality thing. But they did a couple of things with them two backstage during the COVID era. Yes. Also, shout out Abyss and WWE 2K25 and got his TNA theme. Hell yeah.
Did you see the short clip of him reacting to that?
Yes. So cool. But he said something about this being the first time he's in a video game. No, it's not. He's in the TNA game. Unless I'm wrong.
So did you see the Cody and KO?
The podcast? Yes.
The podcast where Cody said he really wanted Abyss in the Rumble last year.
Great podcast. Yes.
Like, I guess Chris Parks said he's done. Doesn't want to wrestle again.
He's done. And yes, he was in the TNA game. So I don't know why he said something about really cool to see myself in a video game for the first time or something like that. Maybe I heard it wrong, but yeah. Chris Park, he was supposed to wrestle The Undertaker at WrestleMania. What was it? The Mark Henry Mania, maybe? 23? WWE was close.
Yeah, WWE made him an offer to sign with WWE, and they wanted him to wrestle The Undertaker at Mania, but he said no. Decided to stay with TNA.
Stay with TNA because he felt comfortable there, is what the word was back then.
Felt comfortable, and he just said like TNA has just always been good to him.
Yep. But I hear nothing but good things of people loving working with him as a producer backstage in WWE. So that's really cool to hear.
Yeah, I think he's pretty happy as a producer.
Elite, you are right. At least on the Xbox 360, you could still go back to the old TNA game and play online matches. The servers are still up, which is crazy.
I heard the TNA game was like the worst wrestling game ever.
I don't know about ever, but it sucked. I only played it once or twice. I should try to find it.
It was like
I should try to find an emulator copy of it and stream it. Do a stream of the old TNA game.
What do you think is worse, that game or Fight Forever?
Oh, Fight Forever is pretty bad. Well, okay. Gameplay wise, Fight Forever is fine. It's just Fight Forever felt like everyone's got the same 5 or 6 moves, and then like certain guys are slightly different. But it's just everything felt so repetitive and the same in Fight Forever. And the create a character mode sucked. But that was the issue with Fight Forever. It just felt way too samey. Like I played it one day, then came back the next day, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything different. It's all the same. I'm bored. The story mode that they had sucked as well. So yeah, I haven't touched that game since the week it launched. Most people haven't touched that game since the week it launched. So moving forward, we have the tag titles on the line. The World Tag Team Championships with the New Day defending against JD McDonough and Finn Balor. This match was great, and I've learned something new about Michael Cole that other people might have figured out. You ever notice when a wrestler is going for a pin and Michael Cole yells, "For the win!" Right? Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah.
He always
high pitch for the win.
Yes. He only ever says that when it's not the actual pin and there's going to be a kick out. Think about it.
Really?
Every time I ever hear him say it, and you can go back and maybe find an instance where I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Michael Cole yells the "for the win" when it's going to be a kick out, when it's not the actual finish. He did it 3 times in the tag title match.
Or he's like the "for the win," then 1, 2, 3. No.
Yeah.
No, only a 2 count.
But it's
I hear
like
that a lot in 2K though.
Yeah, but no. Whenever you hear Michael Cole yell "for the win," you basically should know that's not the finish. So as far as this match does go, Kingston and Balor started things off, and a little stalemate early on. New Day worked over McDonough after he tagged in after a break. Balor made a hot tag, which got a nice pop from the crowd, and he ran wild on the New Day. Balor hit a sling blade and went for a drop kick, but Kingston cut him off with a leaping double foot stomp. They all tagged out, and McDonough and Woods were in. And McDonough hit Woods with the acai moonsault, but Woods got his boot up on the moonsault in the ring. Balor then made a blind tag and went for a coup de grace on Woods, but Woods moved, and Balor hit McDonough by mistake. Basically, Woods was laying on top of McDonough, so they were like, McDonough was trying to hold Woods down so Finn could do the coup de grace, but he moved out of the way. And speaking of that Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens podcast, Kevin said it. It's not coup de grace, it's coup de grace. Coup de grace. You gotta say it. Coup de grace. That's the correct French way of saying it. And he would know French is his first language. Which, as great as this man speaks English, you would not know that English is his second language. So moving forward, Woods rolls up Balor for a near fall. New Day then hit Balor with a midnight hour. Got another near fall off of it. Each team then took turns cheating behind the referee's back, leading to Woods hitting Balor with the title belt. But Balor kicked out at 2, right before 3. McDonough then got back in and hit Woods with an avalanche Spanish fly that, he almost messed that up. He did like a thing where like he ran and tried to like jump off of, what was it, Finn's or Cody's or Finn or Kofi's back. I can't remember who. But he was supposed to basically run, jump off of somebody's back, and then land on like the middle or top rope. And he didn't even make the bottom rope. And then he scampered up, grabbed Woods. They kind of got in position. Spanish fly. Kofi broke up the pin though. Balor then gave Kingston a sling blade outside the ring. McDonough hit Woods with a moonsault, and Balor hit Woods with a coup de grace for the pinfall. New Day are your new tag team champions. Dom then came out.
Judgment Day?
That's what I meant. Judgment Day. Judgment Day, new tag team champions. Dom then came out to celebrate. Got fireworks, but none of the women from New Day have been seen yet. Or Judgment Day. I don't even know why I keep saying that. Goddamn day. We got too many day groups here. It's like when I mess up MJF and MVP because they're so similar. MVP, MJF, yeah. Judgment Day, New Day. Judgment Day, New Day. What do you think of the match, though? And the new champions?
It was a good match, but I feel like New Day didn't really get the title reign I expected, though.
This was only... Let me see something really fast. Only the second time they defended the title since winning them at Mania.
Now what do you do with them?
I have no clue. Just keep them as backstage goofs? I don't know.
Keep them as backstage goofs trying to like...
They're doing something with Grayson Waller that I don't know where it's leading to. It's going to eventually lead to Grayson Waller leaving Austin Theory, but I don't know.
Maybe they get in the head of Austin Theory's like, Grace, like you're useless and Grayson's only using you, or...
Well, no. They're on the side of Grayson Waller. Like, they're friends. Grayson Waller keeps saying, my friends of the New Day. So, I don't know.
Hopefully, like, once they do break up, it does something good for Austin Theory.
Hopeful. So, in the back, Jackie Redmond interviewed Bayley. Bayley just said that she should be the current IC champion. Lyra then interjected, came out and was like, blah, 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 blah. They start arguing and fighting and this and that and blah, blah, blah. So then Anna Pierce comes up and goes, stop it. I had a feeling this was going to happen. You guys weren't going to be able to get along. So what we're doing tonight, we're doing a match. You two will fight, and the winner will be the new number 1 contender to face Lynch for the IC title. Plain and simple. But it wasn't so plain and simple in the end. We then see Sheamus warming up for his upcoming match with Rusev. Maxine, Natalia, and Tozawa all come up and wish him good luck. Then there's a Goldberg video package set to dominate by 3 Days Grace. Didn't expect that one.
3 Days Grace, man.
Right?
That's a good band. Like, I remember, I know anytime I watch, like, you ever watch, like, let's say you're watching like NXT Vengeance Day highlights where it's like a little fast pace, and you get like 3 Days of Grace playing in the background while the highlights are going.
Yeah, I remember those.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Those things were I enjoyed watching those when I was a kid. I'll go back to like wrestling shows from 2000 saying, or like those highlights, and you get like a band like 3 Days of Grace playing in the background.
I remember there's the first time I ever heard 3 Days Grace was in 2004, and they had the song I Hate Everything About You on the freaking NASCAR 2004 EA Sports game. That was the first time I heard 3 Days Grace.
They're that old of a band.
Let's see, when did they start? 3 Days. I just remember playing freaking NASCAR 04 and hear I hate everything about you. They started in 97. Yeah, it says active since 97. They've been around for a while. They're coming up on their 30 years. Damn. But yeah, I just remember hearing that song in the freaking title menu of NASCAR Thunder 2004 with Tony Stewart on the cover. So moving forward, Chad Gable spoke to American Made backstage, his arm in a sling. Pierce joined them and said, "Yeah, sorry to hear, Gable, that you're not cleared. You're injured, and I wish you good luck." Gable said that he made his own luck. Pierce figured, I guess we're not going to be seeing El Grande Americano for a while either. And Gable said, he's a very busy man, quote, but you never know. Holy fuck, we'll get to that in a minute. So unfortunate, Chad Gable needed to have shoulder surgery. We don't know what kind of injury it was to the shoulder, whether it was a dislocation like Liv or a different kind of shoulder injury. So because of that, we don't know how long he's going to be out. Pierce leaves. Gable gave his teammates their marching orders. Brutus said that they would be lost without him. Gable told them to listen to Ivy Nile. Gable left, and we see Ludwig Kaiser watching in the background. Now remember, when they did the Penta Gable injury spot last week, who was also lurking in the background? Ludwig Kaiser. I feel sorry for Ludwig Kaiser.
They got nothing for this man.
Oh, no, they've got something for him. You want to fast forward to it?
Oh, I know what you're going to say, but like storyline wise, nothing.
So hold on. We'll do a little fast forward here. Let me scroll down my notes, see if I can find.
I saw the stuff on Twitter. He even responded to that stuff as well.
Today?
Yeah. Pretty sure he did.
I didn't see any of that.
Just go to Ludwig's Twitter.
Well, I'm trying to find in my notes. I know I wrote it down here. Oh, here we go. So let's fast forward later on in the show. Jackie Redmond is interviewing American Made. Niall spoke about the Battle Royal upcoming at Evolution until, well, El Grande Americano appears. He nodded at all of them and then left. Redmond asked for a comment, and an excited Brutus was about to say something, and then Ivy cut him off, and they left. Now, it's obvious, Ludwig Kaiser. Now, why I say that's bad and how I've been praising the El Grande Americano character in the past kind of might sound contradicting. I've liked Gable as El Grande Americano. I have liked Chad Gable as that character. But putting Ludwig Kaiser as that character is kind of, to me, going, oh, that sucks for him, because it means they had nothing for him and they only came up with an idea because somebody else got hurt. Which really sucks, because I don't even know if Ludwig Kaiser can do some of the lucha things that Gable was able to do as that character. Have we ever seen him do a moonsault? Kaiser, that is. Can he do an arm drag off the top rope like Gable can? Like, I don't know. But at least El Grande Americano doesn't have to now drop the speed title. He can keep that belt.
I just don't know if they'll have him actually wrestle though. That's the thing. I don't know.
Oh, he will. He has to. Especially if he got the speed.
Not necessarily.
Especially if he's the speed champion though.
He can wrestle on speed. I just don't know actual live TV.
I see it coming probably within the next couple weeks.
I don't think it's a good idea.
I don't either, but it's going to happen.
I think what they'll just have him do is just maybe just work backstage or something.
Nope. I think he's got to work. I think he's got to work matches. It sucks, but fuck.
When's Gable supposed to be back? Like 2 months?
We don't know because we don't know the severity of the injury. All we know is that it was bad enough to where he needed shoulder surgery, but we don't know what kind of a shoulder issue it was. Billy says the championship that's never on TV. Well, no shit, because it's a on Twitter X only deal. Now, I think we've seen Sol Ruka on NXT with the women's speed title once or twice. But outside of that, the speed title never shows up anywhere outside of speed, and that's because of the deal that they have with X. But that's an exclusive belt to that platform. But moving forward, we stay backstage. Balor and McDonough approach Pierce and Nick Aldis. Balor said that Raquel Rodriguez has worked very hard to become and stay Women's Tag Team Champion. And even though Liv is out, it would be a shame to strip Raquel. Balor then says, but you find her a new partner. And they kind of ponder for a second. He goes, then what about Roxanne Perez? Pierce and Aldis then do a little huddle. Hey, what do you think? Yeah, I like the idea. Yeah, we can do that. Okay. Got it. Sure. However, they have to prove themselves as a team. They can be the tag team champions if they can successfully defend the tag team titles. So I don't know if this means, and I can look and see if WWE.com has changed anything yet. Yes, never mind. None of this matters. On WWE's.com, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez are already listed as the tag team champions. They're already recognized as the women's tag champs. But he said the whole they gotta prove themselves thing is dumb. It's just more of, hey, they're gonna defend their titles at Evolution. And the rumor that came from bodyslam.net was a triple threat, but now we know the fatal four-way at Evolution. They will defend against a Raw team, a Smackdown team, and an NXT team. Any thoughts?
I think it's cool. I wonder who the NXT team is going to be.
I don't think they go this route. Well, Sol Ruka's already got 2 belts, so I doubt she challenges for this title, but I thought her and
I mean 2 belts. The speed and
North American. Yeah, but I thought her and Zarya would have been perfect. Maybe Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix, Fatal Influence.
That'd probably make the most sense.
I'm trying to think who else is on that NXT women's roster. Let's see. I'm looking really fast. Looking. I would have said before Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan, but Gigi's gone. That would have been the perfect team. Maybe Izzy Damon, Tatum Paxley. They're trying to set something up between them last week on NXT.
I don't know why they got rid of Gigi Dolan.
I have no clue.
I mean, Gigi was fine. I don't know why they got rid of her.
Yeah, I'm looking here. It's like Sol Ruka and Zarya make the most sense. Maybe Izzy Damon, Tatum Paxley. But other than that, I don't see any other 2 women that could go together. Next, got like Lola Vice. I don't see anybody for her. Lash Legend. I don't see anybody for her. Kalani Jordan, no. Carmen Petrovich. I think she's out injured. Jada Parker, no. It's like Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix make the most sense. And then, yeah, that's about it. Then we got Rusev versus Sheamus. And because Pat's gone, got Michael Cole doing the Fight Night for Sheamus' entrance, which never sounds good. But they state that this is the first time that they've been in singles competition against one another since 2014, 11 years ago. They clobber each other to start things off. And Corey Graves calls this a Big E special. He never says big meaty men meet and meet. But he always will say when it's like a match like this, he'll call it the Big E special. For some reason, he never says big meaty men meet and meet. Maybe they can't say beat and meat.
Those big meaty men slapping meat.
Slapping meat. That's right. I thought it was big meaty men beating meat. Never mind. I'm wrong.
No, it is. No, he goes big meaty men slapping meat.
Yeah. And Woods just was dying the whole time. Big E's barely. Yeah, no. That's one of the greatest, like, yeah, that's such a great clip to watch periodically every so often. Anyways,
did you see the Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs match at All Out a few years ago, where the fans were chanting "Slap that meat"?
Yeah,
slap that meat.
Well, then Tony Khan did like the meaty men or meaty meat 4-way or whatever one time.
Yeah,
like,
basically just trying to ride off of that.
Yeah. But anyways, they're clobbering each other.
Booker T. Remember when Booker T would do commentary when Braun Breaker's in the ring? He's like, "No bread, no water, just me."
Yeah. Booker T's, people would shit on Booker T for his commentary. I find him highly entertaining.
Oh, he is a very entertaining commentary. He's the guy that does the what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like,
I like it.
It sucks that he's not here to do for Stephanie Vicure the and then when Trick comes to the main roster, his entrance is not going to feel the same without Booker. Like, it's just not.
Or they bring Booker T up to the main roster.
No, him and Vic are. I said this before. I don't see anybody else that works well with Vic other than Booker. I mean, him and that Blake Howard guy do main event together, but
I mean, they can't. Don't. Maybe Wade did all right.
Yeah, they were fine. But Booker, keep him in NXT. Have him fly to Orlando once a week. He's good to go. Actually, he's in Orlando more than just the one day because he's doing LFG still too. Which, anybody watching LFG? No one's watching that fucking show.
I'm surprised Vic never got called up to the main roster because he's been in NXT for a while.
So Vic Joseph does do the main event tapings. He's the announcer. He's the main commentator for main event. So he does do main roster for that. But yeah, LFG, that show. Oof. I watched most of season 1, and I'm like, nope, I cannot come back to this for season 2. This is bad. And then they took the goddamn Jasper Troy guy and put him straight into the top title picture on it. Nope.
That match, I didn't watch that match. Was that match good?
Nope. He can only do like 4 things. It was not good. He's not ready. And then this Tuesday, he's fighting. I think it's this Tuesday. Maybe it was last Tuesday and I missed it. He's supposed to fight Inamura to become #1 contender to fight Obafemi for the belt. He's getting another opportunity to possibly fight for the title. Anyways, back to this match. Sheamus was no-selling some kicks from Rusev. Rusev invited him to smack him around a little bit. Sheamus did get fired up by this. He had a backbreaker followed by a diving knee drop. Rusev kicked out at 1. Rusev came back with a spinning heel kick for a 2 and a follow-away slam for a 2 as well. Rusev then hit a superplex ahead of another break. Rusev then held control during the break, and not much really happened. Sheamus did hit a white noise, but not much came of that as well. After the break, they took turns beating the crap out of each other some more until Sheamus hit a power slam. Sheamus hit 10 beats of the Baldrin, but it was more like 15 beats of the Baldrin. He went for a brogue kick. Rusev ducked it. Sheamus then fought him off again and hit consecutive running knee strikes for a near fall. Rusev then responded with a Uranagi and a jumping kick. He applied the accolade, but Sheamus managed to get to his feet and hoisted Rusev on his back. He spilled out of the ring, and Sheamus hit Rusev with a brogue kick. Rusev just barely got the 10 count back into the ring. Battle on the apron until Rusev thumbed Sheamus in the eye. He exposed the metal rod from the turnbuckle and rammed Sheamus into it. Both of these things happened right in front of the referee, and the ref just didn't care. Rusev then followed this up with the Machka kick and pinned him to pick up the victory in a 20-minute match. These guys got time. Pretty good. They worked well together, and a pretty good finish at the end. What'd you think?
It was a good match. Like, I kind of, has Sheamus tapped yet? I feel like he has.
Oh, in the past. He's tapped in the past, yeah.
I know he had that longest streak for a while of not tapping.
Sheamus ever tapped out? Let's see.
I'm pretty sure he did.
I would assume by now. Sheamus ever tapped out? This was the first time Sheamus ever tapped out. Yes, to Bobby Lashley during COVID.
Really?
The Hurt Lock.
That was the one time he tapped out. He had that longest streak of not tapping out, and they made him tap out in a random episode on Raw against Bobby Lashley.
Well, I don't know if it was a random episode. I don't know what the match was for. I just see it here on Reddit. But yeah, it was the COVID match on Raw. First time Sheamus has ever tapped out in WWE.
I kind of thought he was going to tap out tonight.
No, he just got pinned with the Machka kick. So moving forward.
I'm glad Rusev won, though. I am glad Rusev won.
Right. Me too.
Because now I'm curious, like, if they're gonna still do stuff with him and Sheamus, or this was the last thing they're gonna do for a while together. What are they gonna do with Rusev next? Because I do feel like a lot of the wrestlers they brought back, like ever since Triple H became in charge, they have them like do a little bit of a push at first, and then they kind of go down that spiral of like, we don't really have anything for them.
So I don't know, and speaking on that, I don't know what it means, but there was a report over the last couple of days that Aleister Black is supposed to get some sort of a push on SmackDown. I don't know what that means, but we'll see.
Probably, maybe for now, the Aleister Black one, maybe he can just be like that top heel trying to like have big feuds with like the baby faces.
Right.
That's probably what they mean by that. I don't expect it to be like world title push or anything.
No, I don't see that either.
I'll see that.
Go for it.
Do you think Aleister Black eventually wins the world title, or do you think they're going to keep him as a mid-carder?
No, he never wins the world title. Nope.
Sounds unfortunate because a few years ago, if he still was in WWE, I'd probably say absolutely.
Yeah, I don't see it. But speaking of world titles, Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis did make a kind of lackluster announcement that, in keeping with tradition of Evolution, we will be doing a battle royal. The winner of this match earns themselves a title shot at Clash in Paris. So not SummerSlam, which is before Clash in Paris, but at Clash in Paris. But now the big question is,
think it would be?
That's the thing. They did not say world title shot, though. They just said a title shot. So it could be anybody. They did not state you're going for the WWE Women's Championship, the Women's World Championship. They didn't state anything as far as what the title is that they're going for. So it can literally be someone challenging for the NXT Women's Championship. It could be someone challenging for the United States Championship, the IC title. I have no clue.
I think it could be Lyra.
Lyra then challenges Becky?
Yeah. She has to win a battle royal to get a shot at Becky again.
I think we're going to get a triple threat with Bayley and Lyra challenging Becky at Evolution.
Becky retains.
Yeah, I could be wrong, and then that would mean that Lyra's not in the Battle Royal, though.
It all just depends who's in the Battle Royal. Nia Jax, I can see being in the Battle Royal.
Well, they could put anybody. It's probably going to be like a 20-woman Battle Royal. Like, basically, any woman that doesn't have a match will be in this Battle Royal.
Stephanie Vacure?
Probably.
I can see it.
Yeah, that would make sense. Speaking of Stephanie, well, we're not there yet, but Jackie Redmond was about to interview Sami Zayn backstage when he was attacked by Karrion Kross with a pipe. Kross attacked Zayn with a pipe until officials broke it up. And speaking of Stephanie Vacure, during a break, they had Byron Saxton interview her. Vacure was excited about the upcoming Battle Royal. She said she didn't come to Raw to be second place. She plans on winning the Battle Royal. She will then go on to challenge for the championship in Paris. She said, I will challenge either Io or Rhea, whoever the champion is. So that right there tells you there's possibly a big title match, but we'll see. I saw people really mad. Oh, Stephanie Vacure only in the Battle Royal? What kind of shit is that? Like, I saw people mad about that.
Yeah, he just got onto the main roster. Just relax.
Right.
Wait, what do you think about? I know a lot of people probably make the argument, well, Julia's just got on the main roster and she's the Women's United States Champion.
But Julia was in the company longer. Julia's been around longer.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Julia's been around longer. Stephanie got the higher treatment, I guess you would say, in NXT, and we go from there. Moving forward, Gunther comes out. This segment by the end was great. So Gunther comes out and spoke about the impressive Goldberg video we saw earlier. He said Goldberg's violent, brutal, and destructive. But just like his matches, all of his highlights were summed up in 3 minutes. Gunther was not afraid of what was left of Bill Goldberg. He was a 58-year-old man writing out his career at Gunther's expense. This was not going to happen because Goldberg was not capable of taking the title from him. Gunther knew that he could beat Goldberg in 3 minutes. That's not the goal. Gunther will take his time. He wants to blow up Bill Goldberg and embarrass him in front of everybody that he loves. Goldberg said that he didn't like bullies, quote, but too bad you bumped into the biggest bully around, end quote. Gunther planned on bullying him and treating him like trash, and there was nothing Goldberg can do about it. He said Goldberg wanted to prove that he still had it, but Gunther would prove that he never had it. Once this was all over, it'll be Gunther's turn to, quote, ask who's next. And that's when out came Seth Rollins. Rollins came out with Paul Heyman. Gunther made fun of Rollins for traveling very far to Night of Champions to accomplish, well, nothing. He's not wrong. Rollins laughed at that statement. Rollins informed him that they did not go to Night of Champions to cash in on John Cena. Rollins made it clear that as long as he was alive, he will make sure that CM Punk never wins the world title. That was his goal. Yet he tried to cash in. So I don't know. Or at least wanted to. Called out a ref and everything for it. Anyways, so they flew across the world.
That was crazy.
But the pounce from John Cena?
Dude, I was watching that live. I'm like, geez, Charles Robinson got knocked.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he said he was fine, but didn't he also, like, post a picture of, like, him getting stitches at, like, an injury that was, like, years ago?
I don't think that was from this. I know he's needed them before, but
he's gotten injured a couple times. I know that as a ref. And he responded to someone's tweet and he said he was alive.
Yeah. I saw that. That was funny.
Yeah, so, they're basically just recreating the run from WrestleMania 24.
Yep. The run. Old little Nate.
That dude's got to be up there in age, though.
Let's see, Charles Robinson age. Charles Robinson age. He is 60. He actually turned 61 in 2 days.
Jeez, that guy's taking that kind of bump.
Yep.
Yeah, this guy's
but look at him. He still looks like he's in pretty good shape.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's in charge of the road crew. He's the one that makes sure everything gets set up in the building. That's his other WWE job. He's like one of the guys in charge of the ring crew.
I don't think he's a full-time ref, though, anymore.
No, he refs. Yeah, very frequent.
He probably just can't do it consistently, though.
I don't know, but I know he's in charge of ring. He's the head of ring crew. But as far as this goes, Rollins says that he flew across halfway across the world. Business. Stand on that business. Fans started chanting for Punk. Rollins told Gunther that winning Money in the Bank meant an all-out assault on both champions. Punk's music then hit, and he sprinted down to the ring and attacked Rollins. Rollins bailed through the crowd as Punk called him a coward. Punk was able to leave until Gunther was going to leave until Gunther grabbed him by the arm. Punk shoved Gunther down, and Gunther actually fell. Like, oh, shit. Pissed off CM Punk, then left. Rollins was in the crowd laughing at all of this when all of a sudden LA Knight came up from behind. He threw a cup of popcorn in his face. And they started fighting. Fought up into the concourse area and whatnot, and there we go. So this does lead to, they did announce it later in the show, Seth Rollins versus LA Knight at Saturday night's main event.
It'll be a good match.
Oh, yeah. It's where I thought it was going with LA Knight. So
they got like feuding with everybody nowadays.
That's just the Seth Rollins thing. He'll go do anything they need from him, and he'll work with anybody. That's the thing. He's always been like that.
No, but like they have this group just like
Oh yeah,
going after every baby face on every brand.
but that's a good thing. It means that they're keeping them active, and it's not they're working with multiple people to not get stale by just attacking the same guy over and over. You know?
I also saw that there was a rumor that they were thinking about adding another person in their group, and the two names that were pitched were Ethan Page and Ricky Saints.
Super just Twitter rumor. I don't think there's anything. I mean, could it happen? Sure. I didn't see where those rumors came from. So
Do you think
I don't
they
know.
could add a third, like a fourth person, or do you think they're good as three?
I really think they should just stay with what they're at. I don't think they need to add anybody else because then it gets too cluttered. And it's like you already have Seth as the top guy and you have the tag team. Why do you need another guy?
And you have Paul Heyman as the manager.
Exactly. They got a
Did you also see?
Go for it.
Did you also see Seth responding at a fan of Next Fest? He's like, Seth said, "I'm not a Paul Heyman guy. Paul Heyman is a Seth Rollins guy."
Yeah, that was great.
Because the fan wanted him to put Seth. He wanted Seth to put like I'm the Paul Heyman guy on like a title for him,
Mhm.
and Seth said no.
So moving forward, excuse me, we got a really cool Pirates Kyrie Sane video. This is cool. Then we got a Bailey versus Lyra. They worked well together, but it was a good match. I'll say that. It was a good match. Bailey targeted Lyra's back and applied a Boston Crab until Valkyria got to the ropes to break the hold. They collided with a dueling crossbody attempt ahead of a break. Valkyria took over, but you would have missed all of her offense because it took place during the break. Bailey fought back when they returned from the break with the superplex. They tried dueling cradles and both kicked out. Valkyria spilled out of the ring after a Bailey back suplex, and Bailey followed with a leaping elbow off the steps. Valkyria responded with a swinging neckbreaker, and Bailey hit a sunset flip powerbomb into the corner for a 2. Valkyria hit a gut-wrench sit-out powerbomb for another 2. They start trading cradles and all of this, and they start sliding around and this and that, and boom to boom to boom, and then eventually they're both down, and the ref counts 1, 2, 3, and then she's just like, looks around for a second. Commentary's like, well, Lyra's shoulders were down. And then she goes over to the ring announcer, Alicia Taylor, and is like, both shoulders were down. We're calling it a draw. There we go. And I'm like, if you know, like, is the ref, I want to see the ref handbook here. Because if both shoulders are down, are you still supposed to count? Because if it was me and I saw both shoulders down, I would just not count. I'd call it off and be like, hey, both their shoulders are down. We ain't counting. Get up. And I'd like do a UFC, nope, break it, stand them up kind of thing, you know? That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I'd do like a UFC stand-up if they were both down for the pin like that. But, I think it's, like I said earlier, I think it's going to lead to both of them in a triple threat against Becky. Because the winner was supposed to become the new #1 contender. Very flat finish. Any thoughts?
Yeah, it was a flat finish.
So Bailey grabbed Valkyria afterwards, but Valkyria turned around and hit her with a clothesline. They wound up brawling into the crowd until officials and everybody broke it up. It went about 10 minutes. So this is when they told us LA Knight versus Seth Rollins at Saturday night's main event. Jackie Redmond then caught up with CM Punk backstage. Punk said he had receipts for Rollins, Heyman, and Braun. That's what he calls Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Braun. He then confronted LA Knight. He told LA Knight, hey, Rollins belongs to me. Get to the back of the line. He goes, excuse me, back of the line? You didn't hear what they just said? Me and Seth, Saturday night's main event. And Punk was all pissed off. And he just goes, yeah. And there we go. Right in Punk's face, too. Are we going to get a Punk LA Knight match here soon? I wouldn't hate it.
Nah, not right now. Maybe down the line, yeah, but I wouldn't do it now.
Well, yeah, eventually. So,
Eventually.
Penta checked on Sammy backstage. He was getting checked on by medical, which he wasn't in the trainer's room. He was just backstage, random spot. Getting checked on by medical, and he was like, Sammy, you know, we don't have to do this if you're not feeling good. He's like, Sammy's like, no, I'm good. Let's go. And then he was all taped up, and he walked out to the ring. Paul Heyman's in the back. And he's like, call Seth freaking Rollins. Have a good flight or something like that. And Bronson's like, where's the visionary? I'm like, what the fuck? Why do you say it like that? Not just where's Seth or where's Rollins, where's the visionary? And he's like, he's on a private jet going to perfect plan B. He goes, well, what's plan B? And Bronson Reed comes up and smacks the briefcase and goes, it don't matter what plan B is. The plan is for me to go smash whoever gets in our way. Heyman wasn't really sure about that plan, but Breakker didn't care, and then looks over where Triple H normally sits and grill and says, hey, you guy, hit my music. And so we do get Sami Zayn and Penta versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. But before we talk about the main event, I gotta tell you about this.
Can I actually
go for it? Go for it. Yeah.
I want to say something.
Go for it.
So when I was watching Night of Champions, I saw like Penta go out to the ring to help take out like Seth's group,
and he had to do his walk.
What? Yeah, I was looking at that. I was like, what does Penta have to do with any of this? Is there something I missed from last week?
Yeah, so they've attacked Penta and screwed Penta in matches. So that's a thing.
I'm really curious to see what they do with like Seth's group at SummerSlam. Because I'm assuming that it's probably going to be like some sort of like 6-man tag.
So here's my thing when it comes to Penta, and I'll talk about this really fast before we go to the ad. My thing with Penta is everyone's bitching and moaning, oh, Penta's being used like shit, Penta's losing, and blah, blah, blah. Hey, Penta's main eventing shows and working basically the number 1, number 2 program on Monday Night Raw. So, yeah, fucking his brother's floundering on SmackDown. But Penta, even though he's losing, he's in the main event. Why are you bitching? What was he doing in AEW? Nothing. They were like, hey, he should have stayed in AEW. He'd be used better. Really? He wants to work. They weren't giving him matches, even before they knew he wanted to leave. And at that, he'd get matches very periodically, and they were never top of the card matches. Tell me the last time Penta main evented anything in AEW. You know what I mean? So, no.
Yeah, I get that.
Penta is better off. Phoenix, you can say no because he was international champion and feuded with Moxley and had great matches that way. But Penta, very much better off in WWE. But with that, before we talk about the main event, we got to tell you about the sponsor of this video. It's Aewcooly. Does the summer heat got you sweating through your shirt before noon? Maybe it's time to chill with an Aewcooly handheld fan. This pocket-sized powerhouse is your secret weapon against scorching temps. Whether catching rays listening to music or just looking to get a great tan, it brings the breeze right when you need it. With 3 speed settings, a rechargeable battery that lasts up to 10 hours, and a whisper-quiet motor, the Aewcooly fan delivers cool comfort without the buzz or bulk. Toss it in your bag, clip it to your desk, or have it right by your side at all times. It's compact, stylish, and oh so convenient. So why melt when you can breeze through summer? Use our link in the description below, scan the QR code on the screen, or head over to pwunlimited.co/Aewcooly. That's AECOOLY now for coolin' in the palm of your hand. So with that, we got Monday Night Raw's main event. Sami Zayn and Penta versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Penta and Zayn hit Penta's little walk in the middle of the ring. Well, so they did a bunch of stuff and everything, and they took down the big men, threw him out of the ring. This was all within the first couple of minutes. Then they did Penta's walk. They looked at each other, and then they did dives out of the ring. They're caught, and they were slammed down. After a break, Penta made a comeback following that break and tagged in Sami, who wiped out both guys with an Arabian press and then did a little point up to Sabu. There was a battle in the corner that led to Zayn hitting Reed with a sunset flip powerbomb for a 2. Reed came right back with a Death Valley driver for a 2. Braun knocked Zayn over the announce table with a leaping clothesline ahead of another break. The heels took over again. At one point, Penta hit Braun with a flying crossbody, kicked his leg out, and then hit a sling blade. Penta hit a drop kick in the corner and snapped Braun's arm. There was an arm snapping that appeared to really do nothing because Braun didn't really sell it. Braun got up next to him and hit a military press, and then Penta countered into a DDT. Heyman distracted the referee at one point, which allowed Reed to knock Penta down on the rope. Braun followed this up with the Frankensteiner, and Reed hit a sit-out powerbomb, but Zayn broke up the cover. Penta then avoided a tsunami at one point and tagged in Sami, who hit Braun with an exploder in the corner. Zayn went for an haluva kick, but Braun clotheslined him. Braun then went for a spear, but Zayn booted him. Cole completely undersold the spot, and then Reed broke up the cover. Zayn tried a vertical suplex at one point on Reed, couldn't quite get him up. Penta then attacked Reed from the apron, and Zayn managed to hit Reed with a suplex. Crowd popped big for this, but it didn't really matter because Reed wasn't the legal man. Braun Breaker ran in, speared Sammy, and pinned him to pick up the victory. After the match, Penta checked on Sammy. Braun speared him. Reed went up for a tsunami, but Jey Uso would run out to make the save with a steel chair. Jey beat up Braun and Braun. Braun, as CM Punk calls them. And then there we go. He stood tall with Sammy and Penta. And like I said earlier, it's really bad when I go through this whole show and I never once ask, where's Jey Uso? Why haven't we seen Jey Uso? It's more of just a, oh, hey, I fucking forgot about Jey Uso. But what do you think of the main event? And then Jey coming out to make the save afterwards.
I'm glad Seth's group got the win. Do they have a name for Seth's group?
Negative.
Did they give him a name yet?
Negative.
They should at least give him a name or something.
I know they trademarked the term the Oracle, and everyone goes, that's going to be the name of the group. No, it's not. That's going to be Paul's new name. Paul goes from the Advocate to the Wise Man to now the Oracle. Because if you know, you know, Barbara Gordon is the Oracle. That girl.
You think so? Seth's gonna go Oracle, and then Paul goes, "Yes, my visionary."
He's already called him his Oracle last week on Raw. He went and put his arm around him and goes, "Paul's my Oracle," or something like that. An Oracle is the same thing as a wise man, same thing as the Advocate. He's the one that sets up the plan and puts everything in motion and then tells his whoever, get this done. But for people to go online and go, the Oracle, that's the name of the group. I saw wrestling website news sites posting, WWE trademarked the term Oracle. That's probably the name for Seth's group. No, it's not. That's going to be Heyman's new nickname, the Oracle. Oh, fucking people don't watch Batman cartoons or comics.
I don't.
Well, did you know what Oracle was before?
No.
Oh, well, I know it from fucking Batman. Have you ever played?
Oh,
have you played?
I didn't even know.
Go for it.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't know any of the what Oracle meant or anything. I never knew WWE made the trademark. So,
have you played Batman Arkham Asylum? Oh, well, Barbara Gordon is in that game as Oracle as well. So, yeah.
I've never been a big Batman guy. I'm gonna be honest. Like I never read any of the Batman comics. I know Batman. I saw like clips of like cartoons. I did see Batman vs Superman, but that movie was just okay.
Oh, like the newer one?
But, no, not Batman vs Superman, like the one from like 2016.
Yeah, the newer one with Henry Cavill and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that one.
Gotcha.
But
no, that has nothing to do with like Oracle or any. Yeah, no. So, but no, the Oracle is not the group name because I saw actual wrestling websites post. Looks like the name's going to be the Oracle. No, it's not. That's going to be Paul Heyman's new nickname at best. But with that, I'm trying to see if we have SmackDown spoilers yet. Like I can go on Twitter and just find a couple, but I'd rather have like actual spoilers. Let's see. Let me do this really fast. Just go here. Type in. Down spoilers. Let's see if we've got any like full rundown of spoilers. Oh, that's a big spoiler. Big match announced for Saturday night's main event. Interesting. Very interesting. I'm not going to say it yet, though.
Let's put the spoiler tab on.
I will in a second. Who is that? Oh, that's okay. Okay. We're going to talk some of this SmackDown stuff. So, spoilers, be warned. I don't have full like spoiler rundowns, so I can't say like exactly what happened here, but there was a segment with Cody and Randy Orton in the ring. Drew McIntyre makes his big return. Drew McIntyre interrupts them, and we get Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton official for Saturday night's main event.
Interesting.
Also, Trish Stratus appeared. We knew Trish was there. Trish did appear. There looked like there was a segment with Tiffany and Jade, and then Trish came out. Looks like we're getting Tiffany versus Trish at Evolution, possibly. It wasn't announced, but it looks like it. Also,
I was about to say maybe Trish is like a special guest referee in their match at SummerSlam.
no, they want Trish working Evolution. Don't know exactly if this is the case, but I've seen a couple of things teasing that the SmackDown team for the four-way women's tag title match at Evolution is Charlotte and Alexa. And then also, SmackDown goes off the air with Solo Sikoa instructing Tala Tonga, Tonga Loa, and JC Mateo to give Jacob Fatu a shield powerbomb through the announce table. And this announce table is the newer, very sturdy announce table. It explodes when they throw Jacob through it. But I'm just looking to see if there is anything else. They're really building up Andrade and Phoenix because they beat Fraxium. Oh, wait, I might have found
Andrade and Phoenix as a tag team.
As a tag team, yes. Okay, here we go. I got some stuff. We got spoilers. We got it. All right. Let me let this load really fast. Here we go. So.
Wait, actually, I have a question real quick.
Go for it. Why I set this up.
Why are they filming SmackDown tonight?
Because they're giving everybody 4th of July off on Friday.
Okay.
They're like, hey, we just made you all fly to Saudi Arabia. We're going to give you 4th of July off. So, after the June 30th Monday Night Raw, they filmed the July 4th Friday Night SmackDown in the PPG Paints Arena. Cody Rhodes comes down to the ring to start SmackDown, and he is interrupted shortly thereafter by Randy Orton. Orton admitted he hesitated to complete the punt on Cody at Night of Champions. Cody pulled the trigger on Orton, and he respects that. Randy makes Cody promise him that he will take down Cena at SummerSlam. This is when Drew McIntyre would return and interrupt. He mocked the respect that they have for each other, tries to get them to turn on one another, and eventually eats an RKO from Randy Orton. Charlotte Flair was backstage with Nick Aldis. Aldis proposed Charlotte go after the tag titles with Bliss in a number one contenders match against the Secret Hervis. Flair eventually gives in and accepts the proposal. Backstage, McIntyre's with Aldis. Drew asks for and gets a match with Randy Orton at Saturday night's main event. Fatu then comes face to face with Aldis. It's announced that Fatu and Big Jim will have a tag match against two members of Solo's stable later tonight. So Jacob and Jimmy teaming up against two of the guys in Solo's group. Then we got Flair and Bliss versus Piper and Alba versus Meechin and B-Fab, with the winner advancing into Evolution to challenge for the tag titles. Bliss and Flair win, so they are one of the four teams. Backstage, Aldis. Backstage with Aldis and the entire tag division except the Wyatts. He's making one member of each of the four teams wrestle the Wyatts tonight. Wyatt 6 will take on Berto, Gargano, Ford, Sabin. Wyatt 6 win. Rowan pinned to Sabin. So was that an 8-man tag, it sounds like?
Yeah.
It sounds like, yeah. Tiffany Stratton is out to speak. She addresses her upcoming match at SummerSlam with Jade Cargill, but also wants to defend her title at Evolution. Jade interrupts. Tiffany reveals that she wants to defend her title against none other than Trish Stratus, and Trish comes out and accepts the match. Then exchange some words and go from there. Backstage, Damian Priest is with Aleister Black. Priest tries to explain R-Truth's side of things and says that there was a match made next week between Truth and Black. So Truth and Black next week on SmackDown. tensions start to boil over between Priest and Alistair. So we're going to get Truth and Black next week, not this coming Friday, but the following. And then we're eventually building up to Damian Priest versus Alistair Black. Then we get the tag match. It's Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso versus Solo Sikoa and JC Mateo. This was the main event. Fatu pinned Solo clean to win the match. Afterwards, though, Fatu attempts to put Solo through the announce table, and Hikuleo stops him. Well, Tala Tonga. They wrote Hikuleo. Tonga Loa then joins in. Solo and his group get the upper hand. The show goes off the air with the Shield triple powerbomb, throwing Fatu through the announce table. Afterwards, this is believed to be after the show goes off the air, Cody Rhodes and Jimmy Uso run out to help Jacob. The crowd seems happy with it. And there we go. It seems like that might not be part of the broadcast. But that is everything that was filmed for this coming Friday's Friday Night Smackdown on July 4th. Any thoughts before we take the spoiler tab off?
I mean, Drew coming back was a little surprising because I thought he'd be gone a little bit longer.
Yeah, coming back and getting a Saturday night's main event match against Randy. That should be good.
It'll be a good match.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing Drew would win because this is his first match back.
Yeah, I would think so.
Now it's like, what are they building for Drew at like going into SummerSlam? Because I assume he's going to have a match at SummerSlam.
Randy needs a match. So Randy needs a match at SummerSlam. Do you know why?
Why?
Because if Randy has a match this year at SummerSlam, he breaks the record of most SummerSlam matches. Right now, he is tied with The Undertaker.
Yeah. So maybe they just do Drew versus Randy at SummerSlam again.
They can maybe do a rematch depending on how the match goes at Saturday Night's Main Event, but I don't know. But I mean, if
maybe Randy wins and I got it. Randy wins, and then like maybe Drew attacks him from behind, sets up another match.
I could see it, but I mean, even if they don't do it this year, Randy having a match at SummerSlam, which I assume he would, they got more years to come because Randy said it. I ain't retiring anytime soon. So
yeah, Randy's got like he says he's got like 5 more years left at least.
Yeah, I think he's got something like that. But so that is everything, ladies and gentlemen. It takes place on SmackDown.
Because Randy's 45
summer
years
got
old.
You sweating through your shirt before noon? Click the wrong button. There we go. Try to get the spoiler tab off and click the wrong button. But anywho, as far as you know what we thought of Raw, now it's time to hear what you guys thought. I gave you guys a little extra time to vote in the polls. As far as the Threads poll does go, 45% liked the show. 45% thought it was just all right, and 9% didn't like it. That's interesting. As far as the Twitter X poll does go, 80% liked tonight's Raw. Nope. 78%. We got another vote here before, right as I clicked it. 78% liked the show. 17% thought it was just all right, and 4% didn't like it. Looking over at the community tab, 75% liked the show. 18% thought it was just all right, and 7% didn't like it. Or as the live poll does go, 78% liked the show, 20% thought it was just all right, and 2% didn't like it. Finally, we got one vote on Twitch, and they liked the show. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. But Luke, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over at Twitter X at Petty_21, and you can also find me over at Twitch at Young Grasshopper Luke.
So, as far as Wednesday goes for AEW Dynamite, I will be doing a review, but it might start a little late because one of my side jobs is I am a photographer for a company that shoots real estate, like houses and stuff that are being sold or rented or whatever. And so I have what's called a twilight shoot, which means I have to shoot at sundown on Wednesday. So I will watch Dynamite, but I will be starting it just a little late. So I might start at 30 minutes late. I might start at an hour late. I'm not 100% sure. And so I will let you guys know when the review is going to happen, but I will still be doing a review Wednesday of AEW Dynamite. It's just not going to start right after Dynamite. So just be warned with that one. With that, guys, have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.